Thank you for being here. My name is Sandra Taylor Smith, and I'm the director of the North Little Rock History Commission. Wanted to point out our chairman, Suzanne Jackson, and Kerry Bradburn, who is my co-worker. He's historian with our office. We are so proud to dedicate these signs. They're beautiful signs, beautiful history, very important history. The third one is in Park Hill. We do have Huntersville is down the walk, and this one is for the Pontchartrain. Wanted to mention we received an application through the Arkansas Civil War Sesquicentennial Commission for these, and Preserve America. We are a Preserve America city, so Preserve America grants helped us pay for these signs, and we're just very pleased. There's also a little North Little Rock history connection here. The manufacturer of these signs grew up in North Little Rock and inherited his grandfather's sign company in Ohio. So we have a very special connection to the sign maker. So I wanted to introduce Mark Chris, who everybody knows.
And I'll mention the other two before Will tells us all about the Pontchartrain. We did a total of 3 signs in 3 historical markers in North Little Rock. One, of course, is the Pontchartrain. We did one for Huntersville. This area here after the Union occupation of Little Rock, this area became the terminus for the famous Little Rock Railroad, which ran from the White River and Falls Bluff to here. And this complex grew up around it called Huntersville, possibly named for the Union commander of the base. But it existed up into the early 1870s when the last structures were at that point. The other marker is up in Park Hill, and it commemorates the Confederate fortifications. After the Battle of Helena, the Confederates fell back toward Pulaski County, and figuring the Yanks would come and attack Little Rock, they fortified the area that's now Park Hill. Set up some, the Union soldiers referred to them as well-built and formidable earthworks, but General Steele was a clever general, and instead of dashing his troops against these impregnable earthworks, he crossed the Arkansas River east of the airport and flanked the Confederates out of the works up here. So those are 2 of the 3. And now Will Stevens, who has a passion for the subject, will tell us about the CSS Pontchartrain.
Thank you, Mark. Wow, I mean, this has been a dream for several years, and just to actually see it is kind of awesome. Originally built in 1859, the CSS Pontchartrain began its maritime career as a side-wheeled wooden-hulled steam packet known as the Lizzie Simmons. It was originally named for a wealthy Camden widow who was so honored that to be the ship's namesake that she sank a fortune into making sure the ship was very luxurious. Its one most striking feature was a French plate mirror that extended across the entire rear of the salon of the main cabins. But in 1861, the struggle for our nation, known today as the Civil War, it would alter the course of Lizzie Simmons, changing the boat's name and beginning its long and faithful journey to Little Rock. The Confederate Navy purchased Lizzie Simmons in 1861 at New Orleans and began to outfit her as a gunboat. She was rechristened the CSS Pontchartrain and ready for service in early 1862. The vessel was placed under command of Lieutenant John Dunnington, who was the only commander the vessel ever had. The CSS Pontchartrain fought at Island No. 10 as part of the Confederate fleet in New Madrid, Missouri in March and April of 1862. Following the evacuation of New Madrid, the Pontchartrain and her sister ship, the CSS Maurepas, were sent to serve on the rivers of Arkansas, where their fates would be forever tied to the state. The crew of the Pontchartrain and 2 of its 32-pound naval guns played a pivotal role in the engagement of Union forces at the city of St. Charles. During the battle, Dunnington and the members of the crew fired a round at point-blank range into the USS Mount City, killing or wounding more than 80% of its crew. That shot has been called the most dangerous and devastating shot of the Civil War. In January of 1863, Lieutenant Dunnington and 35 sailors of the Pontchartrain were captured when Fort Hindman fell to a combined assault of the Union Army and Navy. while the vessel was still here in Little Rock, being outfitted as a ram. Even without a crew or any type of armament, the Pontchartrain remained a concern for the Union Navy as they prepared to take the capital of Arkansas. In September 1863, Confederate forces burned the vessel to prevent its capture of the Union Army as they advanced towards Little Rock. The CSS Pontchartrain was the largest warship ever lost in the state. We're actually standing right directly above the Pontchartrain right now. It stands in this general area. And I want to really thank some folks. Lori was a member of the CSS Pontchartrain search team, and we started this project back in 2008 when Ian Beard from the Old State House told me about it in passing, and I'd never heard of it. And that began a 2-year journey that led us to actually finding this. And a gentleman named David Hogue actually located the Pontchartrain. The last mention was in 1904. And they said if you look down between the streets of Maple and Maine, you will find the remains of an old ship. I also want to thank Greg Stitz, who's no longer with the Maritime Museum, for being very supportive. Also, Daniel Cockrell from the Old State House Museum, George Ann Cisco for all their support, Mark for everything and all your support you did, and most importantly, for the great folks of the North Little Rock Historical Commission. We did find some artifacts that can't be linked directly to the Pontchartrain, but they are from the time period, and we are donating them to the North Little Rock Historical Commission so that they can be on display and so people can see a part of our history. Thank you so much.